Hey y'all, it's Nomadic Shaman here. I had to cut my other video short because it was getting too long, but this video I wanted to speak about the military component. Now, just to get into it, one of the downloads that I received was Golden Star. I didn't know what that meant, so I looked it up online and I saw that I came across Golden Star families. The reason why I say that is because the youngin dude I met in Philly on OkCupid, if I didn't mention his name before, he on his profile he went by Eddie. Okay. But anyways, he said that it was, that was very important to him. I said, Golden Star. So I looked it up and I saw that Golden Star, I came across Golden Star families, which basically means like families or families, essentially survivors of those who, served in the military. So I was just like, oh, because, I'm going to be straight up. Very little information was exchanged between him and I. I mean, yeah, we would have pockets where we would talk about deep philosophical shit. Well, no, that's not true. Every single time we saw each other, there was a session where we spoke about various topics, okay? It was definitely an old soul. I remember thinking that, but at that time I didn't know he was my twin flame. But I just remember, I'm like, damn, kind of caught me by surprise by like how wise he was, okay? So anyways, he told me about Golden Star, so I looked it up, Golden Star families, and that's basically, families who survived those who served in the military. So I didn't know he was in the military. Come to find out, when I asked him what branch, he told me Army. He told me that a grandpa of his had served in the military. I don't know what branch. I'm guessing Army. He also mentioned a brother who served in the military. That's what he told me. Anyways, the reason why I'm bringing it up is because, so then I'm going to get to that, but he said he serves in the military. I said, what branch? He said Army. He also did tell me that his grandpa, his grandpa served in the military as well. So I guess that's where the Golden Star families component came in. He said, so when I asked him what branch did you serve, I heard reserves. I then asked him at what age. He said 2021. He also told me one of his baby mamas, that's how he met one of his baby mamas, was like through the military. Okay. The one that looks like a little bit like Drea Michelle and Willow Smith combination, the light-skinned black girl. So anyways, that's neither here nor there. But the reason why I wanted to bring it up was because another download that I received was this whole court case, as far as the will, the trust, probate court, and what was left in the will, right? What was left as part of the trust as well as the property. I heard probate court, but I also heard military. Okay, so then I started connecting the pieces, the puzzle pieces, military probate court. And it's very interesting because as I was researching cases that take place in military courts, I realized that they're not open for public knowledge and public consumption, where other court cases could be. right? And usually they're private and they're only open and available to the individual the individual that that court case is centered around, and outside of that individual, their families, right? Their immediate families. So, which makes a lot of sense because initially when I was looking, I didn't really find that much information initially, right? I didn't, basically, information isn't at your fingertips. You have to go in further in your research and request certain information, is what I'm finding out as it relates to military probate court. But I thought that was interesting, okay? Um, what else? I think that's it. This video is really short, but I just wanted to share that component. The other part that I thought was very interesting was I didn't know this when he was alive, but he shared with me that he's a trip. And for those who aren't familiar with the term trip, is actually something that I've experienced or seen when it comes to white people. I haven't really seen black people do this or, whatever. But it's usually when you're not the first, you're not the second, but you're the third. So in other words, if I make a name, so you're not Eddie the first, you're not Eddie the second, but you're Eddie the third, and rather than going through that whole entire name, you would just go by Trip and then your last name, which is interesting. I had to look that up. I didn't know what that meant. And then the last component is the roll call bit. I did mention in, I think, 2 videos ago that I asked people not to test me, but people, they just want to go ahead and test your girl. And I specifically said if any individual were to cross my threshold, when I say cross my threshold, I'm talking about if at any point I have to leave my home and I still have my cameras on, if my cameras get hacked and in that event people are trespassing and coming into my home, even though I told them I literally have spirits in my home 24/7. They didn't seem to be fazed by that, but I also said that it's an agreement once you come into my home that I get your government name, first, middle, and last. They didn't care about that either, but people want to test me. So, and I'm all about ace and tests, right? So there's going to be a video, there's going to be a roll call video, okay, in the future. I will do a roll call video. The only people that will be off limits, where I will not mention their names, I'm talking about government names, is children. Okay, children who are under the age of 18. But adults, yeah, anybody can get it. And if it's a name that I'm unable to pronounce, I'll spell it out. Okay, and I just say that because there's a lot of Hispanics, where I live at. It's unfortunate. I didn't want to have to do that. I didn't want to have to go that route. But, here we are. So, that's that. And one other thing I did want to share is this week I'm going to wrap up my Gangstalking story series. My ancestors have said, I've said enough. I've said what needed to be said, and the other information or knowledge that I have doesn't need to be said at this time. Okay, so I am going to be obedient. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this week, but so look out for my last video at some point this week, y'all. Okay, and when I say last video, I'm not pertaining to the roll call video. Roll call video will be separate. will be separate. I'm speaking about the gang stalking, my gang stalking story and experience. So with that, I'm out. Okay, see you on the other side. Peace.